Welcome back, deep divers. If you're here, you're probably the kind of person who likes to get straight to the point, no fluff, just the good stuff. And it's exactly what we're all about. Today, we're diving into something I think we can all relate to, something that's probably caused a few headaches for all of us at some point in our careers.
Yeah.
Yep, we're talking about bad bosses.
Oh, the stories we could tell, right? I mean, we've all had those moments where we just look up at the ceiling and wonder, how did this person get in charge? But believe it or not, even in the wildest, most frustrating boss behavior, there are often patterns you can start to recognize.
Exactly. And that's where our deep dive comes in. Today, we're using a source that's less academic journal and more, well, a collection of hilariously relatable workplace fails. It's called Bad Bosses, Hilarious Workplace Fails.
Think of it like a field guide to identifying those, shall we say, unique personalities you might encounter in the professional jungle. Our mission, should we choose to accept it, is to try and break down the common characteristics of some of these bad boss archetypes.
So you might be listening and think, oh, I've definitely worked with that person. Or maybe you're currently dealing with one of these types. And hey, maybe just by recognizing these patterns, we can all feel a little less alone in the workplace craziness.
You got it. So let's jump right in. Our first contender, and this one comes up a lot in our source material, is the micromanager. I think we've all encountered this one at some point.
Oh, yeah, the boss who practically needs to approve your bathroom breaks. The one who critiques your every move like they're watching you make a souffle when you're really just trying to send a simple email. It's like they think the entire operation will crumble if they're not involved in every single detail.
Right. And it can feel like, okay, you hired me, presumably because you thought I could do the job. So why are you hovering over my shoulder like I'm about to set the building on fire? And a lot of times it comes down to this deep-seated lack of trust.
Okay, so they don't trust us. But why?
Well, think about it. If a project goes south, a micromanager might feel like it reflects badly on them, like they weren't in control enough to prevent it. Or maybe they have this idea that their way is the only way, and any deviation from that is a guaranteed disaster.
So it's less about us being incompetent and more about their own anxieties.
Yeah.
That actually makes a lot of sense. And our source has some great examples of this, like the boss who demands a daily status update, even if nothing's changed, or the one who requires you to get their approval on every single lunch order.
Right. It's like your judgment just completely goes out the window. It's like, can I please just order a pizza without having to consult the executive decision maker on pepperoni placement?
Exactly. And all those check-ins, the source nails that feeling of being constantly watched, like you're under surveillance, you're trying to focus, and boom, there they are again, wanting to touch base.
Just seeing how things are going. Like, I was doing fine until you interrupted me. And then there are the suggestions, the ones in air quotes, like, hey, maybe you should try using this specific font. It looks more professional, but it's not really a suggestion, is it? It's a command.
Oh, I know that one. And they'll phrase it so nicely, too, like they're doing you a favor. It's subtle, but so frustrating.
Yeah.
It's all about control, isn't it? It's less about actually getting the best outcome and more about them making sure everything's done their way down to the tiniest detail.
Okay, ready for our next bad boss contestant.
Hit me with it.
All right, this one is a classic. Our source calls them the my way or the highway boss. This is the boss who operates under the firm belief that their approach is not just a way, but the only conceivable way to do anything.
These folks are resistant to change, new ideas, any kind of deviation from the way they've always done things. And you know what? Sometimes that resistance comes from a place of fear. Maybe they tried something new in the past and it blew up in their face. So now they're stuck in their ways, afraid to step outside that comfort zone. Makes sense. But in today's world, things change so fast. Clinging to the old ways can really hold a team back. I love the examples in the source for this one, like the boss who has a very specific step-by-step method for setting up your office chair.
Oh, yeah, as if there's a scientifically proven optimal way to position your lumbar support.
Right. I mean, who knew sitting could be so complicated? And then there's the office-wide rule that everyone must use the same pen, like blue ink only, people. No unauthorized writing implements.
It's as if they think a rogue pen color will throw the entire company into chaos. It's control, plain and simple.
Totally. And then there's the complete aversion to technology,
Mm.
suggesting they try something as simple as using email instead of faxing,
Mm.
and you're met with a blank stare like you've just suggested they perform brain surgery.
You know, it's funny because these are often the same people who expect you to be adaptable, to learn new things, to keep up with the latest trends. But when it comes to their own methods, it's like, nope, this is how we've always done it, and this is how we'll always do it.
And the best part, when something inevitably goes wrong, it's never their fault. It's always a learning opportunity for the rest of the team. I'm starting to sense a theme here.
I hear you. Okay, ready for another one. This one is a bit of a head scratcher. The boss who's always too busy. This is the master of the I've got back-to-back meetings all day excuse.
Oh yeah, the phantom meeting scheduler. They're always swamped, always unavailable, always rushing off to some incredibly important, yet always vaguely defined engagement. But then you catch them browsing social media or chatting about the latest reality TV show, and you're like, wait, I thought you were running a Fortune 500 company here.
The source captures this perfectly with the suggestion to send a calendar invite titled, How to Help Your Employees Without Having a Mental Breakdown.
Brilliant. It's like they've perfected the art of appearing busy without actually, being busy. And the worst part is, when you actually do need their help, their guidance, their input, they're nowhere to be found. But they always seem to have time for the office gossip or the latest drama.
Exactly. It creates this real sense of frustration for the team. It's like, okay, you're the boss. You're supposed to be leading us, not hiding from us.
All right, ready for our next contender. This one hits close to home in our tech-driven world. It's the boss who doesn't know how to use technology.
Oh boy, this can be a recipe for disaster, can't it? I mean, we're living in a digital age where technology is constantly changing, and if you're a leader who can't even send an email without accidentally hitting reply all, well, it's not a good look.
Our source is full of hilarious anecdotes about this one, like
Yeah.
the boss who sends out company-wide emails with completely random, out-of-context replies like lol or K,
Mhm.
or the one who accidentally shares a cat meme with the entire organization, including HR, during a serious budget meeting. You can just imagine the collective facepalm across the office.
And it's not just funny, it can actually really hinder productivity. I mean, think about all the time wasted trying to explain basic tech stuff to your boss, or trying to decipher their cryptic, incomplete Slack messages. Hello, team. Okay, hello. What do you want?
And don't even get me started on the Zoom calls, the eternal "you're on mute" struggle. It's like they're trying to operate a spaceship using a rotary phone.
The source even jokes about buying them a dedicated tech support hotline as a gift. It's funny, but it really gets to the heart of the frustration. Okay, ready for a change of pace. This next one is a bit more upbeat, at least on the surface.
Lay it on me.
All right, this is the motivational speaker boss. This is the leader who loves a good inspirational quote, a motivational poster, a rousing speech about reaching for the stars.
Oh, I know this one. The teamwork makes the dream work enthusiast. The one who starts every meeting with a PowerPoint presentation full of stock photos of people climbing mountains and eagles soaring through the sky. All the classic imagery.
And there's nothing inherently wrong with wanting to inspire your team, right? But the problem is these bosses often rely on these cliches and platitudes as a substitute for actually addressing real problems and providing concrete solutions.
Exactly. It's like, we're facing budget cuts and potential layoffs, but hey, remember, the only limit is ourselves. It's this weird disconnect between the motivational rhetoric and the actual reality of the situation. It's like being served a fortune cookie when you ordered a steak dinner.
Spot on. And the source points out that sometimes instead of feeling inspired, you just end up feeling kind of exhausted. Like all you want is a nap, not another pep talk. Okay, ready for a compliment, but not the good kind.
Oh, I'm intrigued. What kind of compliment could possibly qualify as a bad boss behavior?
This one is the accidental boss compliment. It's that awkward attempt at praise that ends up sounding more like an insult, like, wow, you actually finished that project on time. I'm impressed.
Ouch. It's like, thanks. I think. It's almost as if they're surprised you're capable of doing your job. Our source has some great examples of this, like, you did a great job on that report. I didn't think you had it in you.
It's that backhanded praise that leaves you feeling more confused than anything. It's like they're constantly underestimating you, then acting shocked when you manage to exceed their ridiculously low expectations.
Right. And they'll say things like, you really showed initiative on this one. Didn't expect that from you. It's just so deflating. Real praise should be clear, direct, and without that weird tinge of surprise.
Totally. And some of these bosses might not even realize they're doing it. They think they're being complimentary, but it just comes across all wrong.
Okay, this next one is a bit cringeworthy. It's the boss who thinks they're still one of the team. The one who tries way too hard to be cool and relatable, but ends up just being awkward and embarrassing.
This is the boss who's sending out dated memes in the company Slack channel, wearing t-shirts with slogans that were probably funny in college, maybe trying to do the latest TikTok dance during a team meeting.
Oh, the secondhand embarrassment is real with this one. It's like they missed the memo that they're not just one of the guys anymore. They're the boss, and there's a certain level of professionalism that comes with that role.
Right. It's all about boundaries. And look, it's great to be approachable and have a good rapport with your team, but there's a line. And when that line gets blurred, it can actually make things more awkward and uncomfortable for everyone.
All right, this next one is a close relative of our motivational speaker boss. It's the inspiration overload boss. This is the leader who believes that every problem can be solved with a well-placed inspirational quote.
Oh, this one's a classic. Failure is just a stepping stone to success, they'll say, as the entire company's website crashes for the 5th time that week. Or, every great achievement was once considered impossible as the team struggles to meet an impossible deadline with limited resources.
It's like they think they're running a self-help seminar instead of a business. And look, inspirational quotes can be great, but they're no substitute for actual practical solutions.
Exactly. The source jokes that the next motivational email should be, failure isn't the first step to success, it's the first step to calling IT for help. I mean, sometimes you just need to call the tech guy, not recite a quote about perseverance.
All right, here's one that can really lead to burnout. It's the boss who never delegates. This is the one who truly believes that if you want something done right, you have to do it yourself.
The irony is, by not delegating, they're actually creating more work for themselves and preventing their team members from learning and growing. It's like they're trying to be a superhero, single-handedly carrying the weight of the entire company on their shoulders. But in reality, they're just creating bottlenecks and making everyone's lives more difficult.
Oh, I've seen this one in action. They'll talk about empowering their team, but then they'll micromanage every single task, second-guess every decision, and basically make it impossible for anyone to actually take ownership of anything.
And it's often rooted in insecurity, They might feel like if they let go of control, if they allow others to take on more responsibility, it somehow diminishes their own importance.
Right, like they're afraid someone else will shine too brightly and steal their thunder. But in reality, a good leader knows how to delegate effectively, to trust their team, and to create an environment where everyone can thrive. Okay, let's go way back in time for this next one. It's the always behind the times boss.
Oh, you mean the one who's still using a Rolodex and thinks fax machines are the pinnacle of modern technology?
That's the one. This is the boss who's stuck in the past, clinging to outdated methods and technologies, even when it's clear they're no longer effective or efficient. It's like they're living in a time warp, where email hasn't been invented and social media is just a twinkle in someone's eye.
And it's not just about being tech-averse. It's about a resistance to change in general. They might refuse to adopt new processes, new strategies, new ways of thinking simply because that's not how we've always done things.
Right. And in today's fast-paced world, that kind of thinking can be a real liability. It can lead to missed opportunities, decreased productivity, and a general feeling of frustration among team members who are eager to embrace innovation and progress.
The source paints this hilarious picture of a boss who insists on sending important documents by snail mail, talks about getting back to someone by literally calling them back on a landline, and thinks a floppy disk is a perfectly acceptable form of data storage.
Oh, the irony. These are often the same bosses who are quick to criticize their team for not being adaptable or forward-thinking. But when it comes to their own methods, it's like they're frozen in time.
Hmm.
Okay, let's talk about a boss type whose dedication to their work can actually be detrimental to everyone around them. It's the unintentional boss burnout.
This one can be tricky because on the surface, it looks like they're just really dedicated, a hard worker, or someone who's passionate about their job. But the problem is their constant hustle, their long hours, their always on mentality can create this unspoken pressure for everyone else to do the same.
Oh yeah, this is the boss who boasts about pulling all-nighters, sends emails at all hours, and then tells everyone to work smarter, not harder, while they themselves look like they haven't slept in a week. It's this mixed message that can be really confusing and stressful for the team.
It sets up this unhealthy expectation where working long hours is seen as a badge of honor, even if it's at the expense of your well-being, your relationships, your life outside of work.
The source describes it as being trapped in a reality show called Survivor Office Edition, where the only way to win is to outwork everyone else, even if it means sacrificing your sanity in the process.
And the thing is, a lot of these bosses aren't even intentionally trying to create a toxic work environment. They might genuinely believe that this is just how you succeed, how you get ahead, but what they're really doing is setting a terrible example and potentially leading their team down a path of burnout and resentment.
Okay, time for our final bad boss archetype. And this one is a real pain, especially in today's world where we're all supposed to be connected 24/7. It's the weekend email boss.
Oh, this one's a classic boundary crosser. This is the boss who doesn't seem to understand that weekends are for, well, not working. They'll send emails late at night, early in the morning, on holidays, basically anytime they feel like it, with this unspoken expectation that you'll respond immediately, regardless of what you're doing or what time it is.
Right. And it's not just about the emails themselves. It's about the message it sends. It's like they're saying, work comes first, always. Your personal time, your family, your hobbies, all of that can wait.
And for a lot of people, that kind of constant connectivity can be really stressful. It makes it hard to truly relax and recharge, knowing that you could get a work email at any moment that demands your attention.
Our source describes it perfectly. It's like having this invisible leash that ties you to your work, even when you're supposed to be off the clock.
Yeah.
You're never really free, never really able to just disconnect and be present in the moment.
And sometimes these bosses don't even realize they're doing it. They might genuinely think they're just being proactive or efficient, but what they're really doing is creating an environment of anxiety and resentment.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here. A whole menagerie of bad boss behaviors. From micromanagers to tech-challenged dinosaurs, we've explored it all. And while it's been fun and hopefully a little bit cathartic to laugh at these relatable workplace fails, it's also important to remember that these are real issues that can have a real impact on people's lives.
Absolutely. So as you go about your week, take a moment to reflect on your own experiences. Have you ever worked with any of these bosses? Are you currently working with one? And if so, what strategies can you use to navigate those situations effectively?
Because at the end of the day, understanding these patterns, recognizing these behaviors can help us all create healthier, more productive work environments.
And here's a thought to leave you with. What if, instead of just trying to cope with these bad bosses, we all took a step back and asked ourselves, what kind of boss do I want to be? What kind of leader do I want to be remembered as?
That's a great question. Because ultimately, we all have the power to choose how we lead, how we interact with others, and how we shape the culture of our workplaces. So let's choose wisely. Thanks for diving in with us, and we'll see you next time for another deep dive.